You can get this guy beat up and he still usually comes out with nary a scratch, right? Hey, welcome back to the channel. All right, we have 2 wars left in the season, and for L0ki in second place for the whole thing, up against number 1 GT40. They are back-to-back season war champions, first place. Really, really cool. I admire it so much. Like, I love the fact that it's not a bunch of whales in first place, and they've kind of helped me prove some points along the way. So we're gonna give it our all. We've already beat them once. I think they died like 9 times, something like that, in the war against them. It was a close war, but we did win. And so now we're up again for a rematch. You want to be the best, you got to beat the best. That's the way I always look at it. So I got my war assignments, and as is true, I have another champion I have never brought in before, and I'm going to do everything I can to make sure that I do not die with him in his first war this season. Let's see how that goes. He ends up with 3 fights. Fortunately, it is Dr. Doom. He's really tough to die with. He is the number 1 for me on my confidence-inducing champion. So he's just so tanky, so amazing. This is why I think this video actually proves why. If you've seen my rankings videos, he is in the pre 12.0 switch tier. And I understand how good Clairvoyant and Diablo and Sorcerer Supreme are and Tiger. I totally get it. But no one else can, maybe even in the game, can take the abuse that I'm about to put him through and get the results that you're about to see him have. So here we go. We were assigned this White Magneto pre-fight, which just simplifies this fight quite a bit more. If you don't have that, you can bait the heavy. You want to get the timing down really well so that you're not triggering decks off of that baiting of the heavy. But you can do that, go in and punish. Doom will get around the shield a little bit, so you want to make sure you knock that down. In the beginning, I was trying to be a little bit mindful of the prowess being built up from the node itself, which is happening when I repeat combos. But at this point in the fight, I was like, Doom's got this. Like you can see, in fact, I was trying to get Korg to 2 bars of power so I could throw my SP3. I don't know why I decided to go and bait another heavy there. I think in my duels, I was baiting heavy so much. I did not realize I was going to get that White Magneto pre-fight. And then Pete tagged me in line chat and was like, hey, the pre-fight's placed. And actually, my immediate reaction was, dude, you were supposed to put that on Penny Parker. Fortunately, I went and read the notes before I wrote that, though, and I realized, like, nope, Pete was right. Pete was right. He pays apparently better attention than I do, and I was wrong, and I'm glad he put it on that Korg. So we got to the SP3, finished off with the SP2. Doom is so incredible, so amazing. Bringing him in for this may have been fortuitous, depending on what I get in the 7.4, because I was actually considering not breaking him to rank 4 if I was to pull Mystic. We'll see, though. It's a problem for another day. Now, moving on to this fight against Penny. You've seen me take this before if you've been following me all season. It's been a bit of an adventure, one of the most clutch fights I've ever had, but it was my own fault that we ever got there. So we've got this backup recovery, outlast. In essence, when she crosses over that threshold, I really would like to make sure I have Wither on her, and if possible, I will keep Wither on her the whole time by constantly dexing. I have the White Magneto pre-fight, so if I need to, I can parry stun her, get that passive stun, and then block into her too. Maybe try to manage her Spider Sense charges if possible, but really, I just want to be hitting into her block, getting a lot of damage off that way. And I recall right now, I was like, oh, I got a super passive Penny. Like, this is what you hope for. This is like as good as it gets, right, with Miguel. So just going in there, you saw how much damage just one burst did, and we're doing real nice here. So landing that heavy, and then this is even this far into the season, this is something that I'm still doing. Is I almost just start forgetting to refresh my Wither. I don't know why. I think it's just part of like playing Miguel and having so much fun and bouncing around. I really don't have a good explanation for it. Fortunately, I got her past that threshold while the Wither was still up, so nothing bad happened. And now I've got myself, this isn't a problem. I'm gonna be fine. I've taken this before, and How to Fight Penny. I've fought her quite a few times this season. And then in Battleground, so her animations are comfortable to me, except for her dash. You're gonna see me mess up her dash if I already haven't. She's gonna catch me on that one. And she catches me on that pretty regularly. But I'm just gonna hit into her block here to get the shield down as well as I possibly can. I was hoping to land another SP2. Really right here, I probably should have been a little more patient because I know, oh no, that's where she caught me. I knew I got pushed to my SP3. She catches me on that dash that I was talking about. So now I might as well throw it. I don't even know why I waited as long as I did. This will apply that really nice long slow, meaning that if we get back to our SP2 and I have been refreshing the slow. We'll have just one more debuff to add to our damage there. She's stunned, so I'm going and hitting her, which is safe to do. She doesn't have any of her shield. She needs her shield and her spider sense charger to do the auto block. Here you see that we do have that power burn going on. That's because she had so many spider sense charges and she threw her SP1, which is one reason why you do kind of want to get her spider sense charges down. But with these health pools and stuff, it's totally fine. I can just hit into her block and get this over with. So I wasn't really... I was mindful. I was aware that this was happening, but I wasn't worried. It wasn't causing me any stress or anything like that. So I think we're going to get it down here. Yeah, I knew we'd get it down really soon. There we go. So it's down, moved on. That felt good. Felt good to get it down. I had quite a few fights this war, and here we go. We're going up against this Sasquatch. Now, if you've seen my videos early in the season, you know I had a death to this node before. And then I got it. I got this node down. I've got it. I know how to fight this node. And I make a really big mistake. A mistake that I make once or twice a season that I really shouldn't. And I swear I'm never going to do it again, but I did. I rushed this fight. I chose a really bad opportunity. I wanted to try to get in. It's a Saturday. I'm trying to get stuff done with my family. It's a really big war. We'd already had a couple of deaths, and we knew GT40 is probably going to have like 1, 0, who knows. But we knew it was going to be really low. And so I rush it, right? I rush it, and sure enough, something happens, very distracting. It's a little bit personal, so I'm not going to get into it. But I still know this fight. I'm going to hit into his block as much as possible. And then what I want to do is parry stun him when the timer goes down. But here's the key to that. You need to make sure you haven't got hit in the block, because you see me trying to land that parry there. Well, I have that disorient up, so my parry didn't land. And at this point, I've got some problems. I'm not overly concerned about it, but I want you to start watching the unstoppable timer and watch how much it starts moving around. I was trying my best to keep an eye on it because I don't really like the position I am in. But I still feel like I could get out of this. That wasn't a very smart move there. But here we go. Now the unstoppable timer just starts moving around. I'm trying to hold on to my SP2, knowing that if I can land that, I'll create space. We'll get the wither back up, and I feel like we're in a decent spot. I couldn't keep track of it. That should have never happened. Like the moving around unstoppable, that's annoying, it is, but that should have never happened. That should never happen. You'll see exactly how that fight should go right here. So that's on me. You know, I gotta just learn, right? Like you keep making the same mistake over and over, then it's a mistake. And that's one where, especially on Saturdays, I'm very tempted to try to sneak in a fight here and there so I can get back to doing stuff with my family. We all have families, or we all have jobs. We all have things that we need or want to do. So it's not like that makes me special. But here we go. So I haven't let him hit me in the block, so I don't have the disorient, which means I can land my parry right then and there, get my exhaustion up, which just turns off his Wrath of Tanarak, countdown or count up, whatever you want to call it. And then this fight just becomes about hitting him in the block, refreshing my wither. And then if, I don't even recall if I make it to my SP2. Remember, he started this fight with about 50% health. This is how this fight should go. You know, it is what it is. It's a big war against GT40, right? If you want to be the best, you got to beat them. And so we don't have time for me to sit around and feel sorry for myself. And here we go. Yeah, I think we're just going to finish it off right here. So that's how that fight can go, right? You just do what you just saw. You just do it again. You land the SP2, you do even more damage, and you're totally fine. So yeah, it annoys me. It irks me just because I've had a real hit and miss season here. I know I've been valuable to the Alliance, but I've also hurt us in some ways, and that doesn't feel good. So anyways, moving on, we've got this buff and balance weakness, divine barrier. So went through this a lot, actually. Hold on, I want to talk about this for a second. I want to talk about I actually did quite a few duels. I did duels with Doom, Miguel, and Miguel, because there was thought, and we had talked about, like, this fight can go sideways with Doom, especially if you're not understanding the interactions. And so we talked about using Miguel and just hitting into her block a lot. But one of the things I'm always concerned about on that sort of like strategy is, yeah, but what if she doesn't let me do that? And I know there's ways to manipulate the AI, and Lizer was giving me a lot of tips on that. But I wanted to practice that a lot more than for 10 minutes before I went into this fight, right? And I'd already died once. Don't want to obviously die at all. We're fighting GT40. And so I was like, Doom is my confidence inducer, like I just talked about. You can get this guy beat up, and he still usually comes out with nary a scratch, right? And what I noticed was if I parry, stun, and then heavy her, for whatever reason, the stagger goes up before the glancing mechanic of Sersi's, which is where this fight can really start to go sideways for you. And then the glancing buff is nullified by the stagger. So what you're gonna see here is my main goal was to just get to my SP3 with her not having her glancing buff up. That's all I really cared about. I have big power back boosts on, and I have a big special boost on. I had talked this through with Lizer, and then I talked it through with my buddies, DLL and Nerd, both gave me great advice. Iron Patriot, I believe, did too. I mean, the Doom aficionado right there, right? Like that is basically almost like who created him in essence, or is knowledgeable anyway. So I felt really great about this strategy. I did learn the SP1 evade, which you're gonna see me fail multiple times, but here you go. The other thing I noticed though, and one of the things I've talked about is I back up right away, is if she throws her heavy, it's triggering that glancing buff, and then I've got that problem. So that's why I backed up. I just wanna make sure I'm landing them. Now the nullify immunity is up, but look at this. Because of her buffs, I'm running Mystic Dispersion, the whole thing. I'm already almost at 2 bars of power. That hits me, which isn't great, but look at this. Because of it, and because Doom is so tanky, I'm already almost at 3 bars of power. The shock falls off. I didn't even notice it. I go to heavy. She's knocking me around. But I'm winning the health battle right now. Well, I guess I'm slightly losing it, but you guys get my point. Now I'm gonna throw this SP3 and just watch this. Watch how much damage we've done. She has no glancing buff up. She's got it now, but her heals are so quick and tiny. MP Blaze pointed that out to me. So I'm getting so much Mystic Dispersion. The power back boosts are working in. And I'm just like, yeah, that was my whole goal. My whole goal was to get to the SP3. Of course, I would prefer not to get there from her slapping me around. But if that's how we have to get there, that's how we have to get there. I'm winning this battle. I know that I'm just going to continuously get pushed to my SP3. There's nothing she can do about this. There's nothing Sersi can do. We've got it totally under control. And this is what I'm talking about. Diablo, Clairvoyant, Tigra, Sorcerer, they're all amazing. I love playing every single one of them, but none of them can do that. None of them can do that, where they're just like, yeah, I don't care what the node is. I don't care. I'm going to doom cycle you. And he's just incredible. We're going to see it again here. Again, like I said, it was a Saturday. I had a really busy day trying to fit these in between like family activities and things like that. So we're going up against this champion. I know how to fight the champion. I've fought him so many times. We all have. Not really a fight I'm overly concerned with. I've got Doom. I'm boosted to the moon here. And so we're just going to go in, slap him around. I know I make a few mistakes. I recall that I do. He's going to go unstoppable, and I'm going to run straight into it. But again, it's Dr. Doom with a big power back boost, big power boosts. I even went invulnerability because, again, GT40, we want to win this war. If we win this war, depending on what the outcomes are of other wars, we potentially lock up top 3 in Masters. Our goal was to make Masters and to lock up top 3, and it would even give us a chance to get first. I think we'd still have been slightly behind them, but we would have been within distance, right? So there we go. I'm getting a little bit cheeky there. I'm trying to play around the nullify immunity, and really I should have just gotten straight to my SP3. Like, there's no reason to try to be fancy here, but I tried. So here we go. There's the unstoppable. That must not be the one that I dive into, because I'm pretty sure I dive into one at some point. No idea why I don't just throw my SP3 here, but I didn't. Oh, I was trying to get him to more power. There it is. There's the unstoppable that I just ran into. I should have thrown my heavy, gotten a stagger up. At this point, I'm like, okay, stop screwing around. Don't be cute. Just get this fight over with. And there we go. So we throw the SP3. We should just go directly into the Doom cycle, right? Medium, medium, light, 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 medium, medium. And I believe I throw my SP2. No, I got pushed to my SP3. I thought I finished him off with an SP2, but this fight was not a big one on my mind, to just be totally forthright with you. All the other ones were. This one was not something I was really doing too much thinking about. There we go. Get slapped around a little bit again. And I think I knew I threw the SP2 to finish it off. There we go. It makes me feel a little bit better. I'm like, man, how not paying attention was I? So there we go. Doom is amazing. Doom is absolutely amazing. And then 2 more fights that if you watched the last video, you've seen me take, so we're going to take them again. If you haven't seen it, because I know not everyone sees every fight. Oh, this was annoying. I'm going to try to put on, I'm going to switch over to my science boost and watch this. So I replace it, and it stays visually as Mystic. And so I noticed it. Here, this one though, I think switches over. No, this one stayed the same. And I didn't notice that the other one had stayed the same. So I'm like, wait, what's going on? And so I replaced it again. So I just completely wasted boosts, but it's fine. There's only 1 war left. Then I went back and checked and I'm like, oh, it was just a visual bug. So yeah, that was kind of annoying, but it is what it is. So we're going to go into this fight against Mojo. The one thing I always like to point out is that he does go indestructible. The defender will go indestructible when you reach 2 bars of power. It's something to remember, especially with a champion like Miguel, where the damage in his special is really, really quick. With Mr. Negative, you've seen me take that before. Sometimes you can get away with throwing your special a little early into that indestructible while it's still up a little bit, because so much of the damage happens after the special. With Miguel, you do not want to do that. You'll end up completely wasting the special. If you keep your wither up, then you're turning off kinetic transference. So, I mean, look, well, I'm getting hit in the face. That's not helpful. But you'll see blocked hits are just going to cause him to lose power right there, which then makes it so he's crossing bars of power. So if you have a lot of ruptures up, you can just kind of play around with him that way. There's really a lot of ways that Miguel can take this fight. All of them are equally as good. Yeah, it's a fun fight. Once you get it down, you've got it down. So, in fact, that might have even been an R4. I know I fought an R4 Mojo at some point this season, and it really didn't look much different. So, here we go, going against this fight against Mangog. They even gave me the Mr. Fantastic pre-fights. I had told Lizer in a conversation that the next time I took this fight, that I needed her to remind me to do a duel. Because I could tell I had just gotten so absurdly comfortable with this fight. Like, I was almost not paying attention to it anymore. So she did remind me, which was really nice. I appreciate it. And I did do a duel, which was pretty good because I was well into my evening at this point. I'd had a few drinks and things like that. But you just pay attention to the global timer there, right? You don't want to run into Unstoppable like I did with Doom against Champion, because while Miguel is great and he has some tankiness there with those resistances, he is far from Doom in that regard. So you don't want to do that. And I use an indestructible boost because, as I always say, I have seen this fight go sideways from a very good player with a rank 4 Sig 200 Miguel. And if I recall correctly, it's just because they end up losing their wither. The fight just went a little sideways. The SB2 is unblockable. The SB2 can do decent damage. And of course, no one knows how to evade it. So keep an eye on your wither. You really don't want to lose that in this fight. And then if you can do that like I just did, you get to the point we already have 2. What are we? We're a minute into the fight. I can't remember if the fight timers were extended or not in this war. And it's already almost over. So Miguel just handles this. He owns it with anti-venom on his team. Yeah, I mean, you guys see the results, right? So there we are. Unfortunately, our deaths just continued. We actually ended up with a decent war, if I remember correctly, but it became clear the GT40, they just weren't going to die. I think they ended up with 1 at some point. So, or 5 or 6 or whatever we had towards the end of the evening. It was clear it wasn't going to matter. So, but thanks and congratulations to our MVPs, Clowny's Clown, amazing player, X-Phase, awesome player. Myself, this is why I like our PR rankings there in L0ki better than the MVPs, because, with that death, I probably was not an MVP of this war, but I did take a lot of fights, so that's why I ended up there. So, yeah, it is what it is. And then we're actually still in 3rd. We're still in the top 3. The beginning of our schedule was just really, really strong. We did a great job. We've had a couple losses here in a row, but we've also faced really tough alliances. We've faced SSX twice, who is currently in 4th place. We've faced Noon once, who's in 2nd place, and we faced GT40 twice, who is in 1st place. We split those matchups with GT40 and SSX, and so this is where we're at, which means we win our next war, we secure top 3. It's a big deal. It just feels good. It's something I've only done once in my whole master's career, war career, so I know I would really, really love to make it happen. Make sure you check out the videos for the rankings team, right? Like MP Blaze and Noon, and then of course Nerd, Campo, DLL, and SSX. It's going to be so exciting at the end of the season. Let me know how your seasons are going. Oh, actually, let's check out the season stats before we jump over. Okay, most important stat is always for L0ki win-loss record, 8-3. You know we're in third place. We win and we're in. We win and we're in. So being able to control our own destiny feels great. I'm really looking forward to that last war, which as I'm talking starts tomorrow. Cannot wait. The attack phase does. 64 kills, 5 deaths. Don't like the ratio, but somehow, because of the way our PR rankings work, I'm actually still in the top 10 in L0ki. I think a lot of that's due to taking a decent handful of fights, which you kind of have to do to be high in the PR. And then also I looked at my fight difficulty rating. It's, I believe, the highest in the Alliance. So it doesn't make me feel good about those deaths because every single one of them, I believe, was very preventable. But I don't know. It makes me feel like at least I'm not just totally killing us. So that's good. 5 boss solos, all Miguel, all the time, apparently. 9 total champions with Doom coming in. He did not die, which feels great. Doom breaks the curse, which feels so good. And you see the pie chart there. So thank you so much for watching. I hope your war scene is going well. I know a lot of people in the Discord server are having a lot of fun with war. When war works, it can be so much fun. I hope you're enjoying the videos. I'm looking forward to getting that last war out for you. Hopefully for L0ki can secure top 3. Thank you so much for watching. Take care. I hope you either learned something, were entertained, or even better, a little bit of both. Don't forget to like, subscribe. Thanks so much for watching. Take care.